Aaron, please put this question to rest. Babar Azam or Virat Kohli? Who is a better batsman?
It's a great question. Their records are very similar, particularly in one-day cricket. Beautiful players to watch. I think what just separates them is how long Virat's done it for.
As a captain, who gave you more sleepless nights to prepare a match a day before, maybe a night before?
But probably Virat, only because when he's at his very best, he can score 360 as they both can. But I've probably been on the receiving end of more Virat masterclasses than Babar.
Yuvi Cricket Diary, only on Radio City.
This is Yuvi's Cricket Diary. My name is Yuvi, and it is such an honor to be with someone who's very fresh out of retirement and playing the Legends League. Aaron, welcome to Yuvi's Cricket Diary.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Legends Cricket League.
Yes.
Too fresh out of retirement. How did the other folks react to the fact that you just walked out of the international squad?
No, it's okay. I mean, everyone's just here to enjoy playing cricket again. I think there's some guys who are still playing a little bit of domestic cricket. There's some guys that have been retired for quite a while. So there's a nice balance there. And it's been great fun just hanging out with the boys.
So I saw you walk in the first game and you smacked Pragyan for a lot of boundaries, etc. Was it like, did you pass him and say, oh, you're too old to play the game?
No. That was, my first 10 balls was difficult. I think I was 1 off 10 balls or something, and I started to get a little bit panicked. But it was okay. It's just a part of T20 cricket. Sometimes that can happen, but overall, it's nice to get a few in the middle, no matter where you play.
The word legend, what does it mean to you when you walk into such a league wherein they're already the bosses, the greats of the game?
Yeah. I mean, to share the change room with Jar Callis, who in my opinion is the greatest cricketer of all time. He's like a combination of Ricky Ponting and Brett Lee together. He's an extraordinary player, and to get to play on the same field as him, I haven't had the chance to bat with him just yet, but hopefully looking forward to that over the next few days. There's so many people that have achieved extraordinary things in our game, so just to be able to share that is pretty special. Who's
the one you've met after a very long time?
A few of the Indian guys, obviously, that I've played some IPL with. I haven't seen Raina for a couple of years. We've played a few years of IPL together. Played quite a bit at India versus Australia together, so it's been great to see him after a couple of years.
Fantastic. I'll take you back in the day. Do you remember the first time you picked the bat? Or was it the ball or the bat?
It was definitely the bat.
Yeah?
It was definitely the bat.
Was it the backyard thing?
Backyard, yeah. Backyard at my grandfather's place. I remember just being able to try batting, bowling, fielding. He would stay out there for hours throwing balls. That was my first memory of the game.
And you remember first time going to the nets and thinking that, oh, I want to take this as a profession?
I don't remember the first time going to the nets. Where I grew up, we had quite a bit of land. So my brother and I would always roll out a strip, cut it, roll it. And I remember I used to bowl for hours, and he was a bit older than me. So I bowled for hours trying to get him out. Eventually, after a few hours, I'd get him out. Then 1 or 2 balls later, I'm out. So maybe that's why I turned into a batsman, because I started to appreciate how hard it was.
Superb. The first time you walked into the Aussie dressing room, I'm sure you can't. That memory can't fade away. That stays. The baggy green cap. You know you're playing. You're walking to the dressing room. Who were the first friends in the dressing room?
My debut for Australia was a T20 game against England at Adelaide Oval, and I was lucky. I'd been friends with David Warner for a few years, and he was playing also. But for the first time, I was meeting Shane Watson, Brett Lee, these legends who are still here now. Steve Smith was playing. I think he batted 5, I batted 6 in that game, and it was a really special moment to be able to debut for Australia, especially after you work so hard for it. So, yeah, it was a really cool moment to get that opportunity, batting at number 6 as well, which was different to how I've played most of my career.
Were you pranked by someone? Were you fooled by someone when you stepped in the dressing room? No?
No, because I think from memory the guys had come off at the Ashes, so the T20 team turned up, and it was only like 1 or 2 days before we played the match, so there wasn't a huge amount of time before that.
All right. You being the skipper of the team, it's a very special moment. Cricket is a passion back in Australia, and when you're given that responsibility, Was it more of excitement or nervousness, or was it like, oh, this has come to you and you're not prepared for that? Do you prepare to be a skipper?
I don't think you're ever fully prepared because you never know what you're getting into. I've been lucky that all through my junior cricket, I'd captained representative teams. Victoria, my state team, I'd captained in the seconds, and Big Bash for the Melbourne Renegades, I was captain there. So I had a fairly good idea of what was required. But then when you get the job for Australia, it's totally different. And I had 2 goes at it for Australia, and it was great fun. I mean, you learn so much about yourself, you learn so much about other people. You just try and do the best job you can, and I think I did an okay job.
Very honestly, is 2020 your favourite format?
Test cricket. Test cricket is my favourite format to watch. I mean, we've just seen the Australia-India Test series that was extraordinary for a few different reasons. The cricket was outstanding. The pitches provided a very difficult challenge for the batters, but I love watching that.
Really?
When Test cricket's played in England and the ball's swinging and seaming, I think that's brilliant to watch. So Test cricket's my favourite to watch. It was my favourite to play, although it was very short compared to the other 2 formats. But T20 cricket's brilliant fun.
Yep. But that fun was so good to you that you scored big centuries for fun again. I mean, these are not like centuries of you scoring 105 or 112. These are mammoth scores. How does the shift happen once you've reached 100? Is there a shift? Is there a figure in your mind that I touch this and I'm going bizarre?
I'll be honest, with the second one, there was a figure in mind. After I got past 100, I ended up on 172. And I was on the receiving end of Chris Gale's 175, Pune versus Bangalore at Chinnaswamy Stadium. And I got to 172, and I think there was maybe 3 or 4 balls left in the innings, and I thought I'm definitely getting past Chris because I just remember from that day how destructive he was, and it was quite funny. I got out, hit wicket. I got out trying to hit one over the offside and hit the wicket. So maybe that was a bit of karma because I wanted it too bad.
Right. I think not a lot of people would know that you started as a wicket-keeper batsman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did wicket-keeping come, and how did, somewhere or the other, you started to bowl those left arms?
The left armers, they're very bad. They're very bad. I managed to get a couple of wickets in my career, but not many. It was pretty ordinary bowling. As a youngster, I think growing up, when you're playing, you just want to do everything. You want to find any way that you can play the game. So wicket keeping was one way of doing it. Wicket keeping and batting, and then I would play in like the Victorian representative team as a wicket keeper who batted a bit. And it wasn't until I got a little bit older that I realised that the wicket keepers who were playing in front were very good. So I wasn't going to get a chance there. Peter Neville, he was one of the wicket keepers growing up with me. Matthew Wade was in the wicket keeper for Victoria as well. So there was a couple of very good players in front of me that I wouldn't have got in front of. So I just started bowling a little bit and continued batting.
You've picked up Matthew Wade. Matthew Wade brings me to the finals.
Yeah.
Australia versus Pakistan. This is the World Cup final. Aaron Finch is the skipper, and Australia win their maiden T20. Take me through that moment. There was a time when you were batting, you were struggling with some runs to chase that total. What was the mood in the dressing room? How do you take that as a skipper?
The thing that I remember throughout that whole World Cup is how calm everybody was all the time. Regardless of what the situation was, everyone was really calm and confident that no matter who was responsible for chasing the runs or bowling that crucial over at the time, that there was a really calm confidence that everyone would achieve what they needed to. Through the middle of the innings, I remember Shadow bowled really nicely, got a couple of wickets. And then that partnership between Wade and Stoinis, they tried to run each other out a few times. There was a few half chances. And then that last over from Shaheen where Wadey was just reading it so well. A lap, 6 into the stands, and then another lap. That was pretty special.
How come in a World Cup final, probably the last couple of overs, you get the confidence to go for the lap shot when you know that you're in form and your team needs you? Where do you get... I mean, this has to be high-level confidence of taking Shaheen Afridi, giving him a lap shot for a 6.
Well, I think it comes down to what you're reading into the bowler. I think throughout that whole tournament, Shaheen had looked to go full and straight Yorkers towards the back. So Wadey one of his strengths is the lap. So he's back in his skills against Shaheen. He executed nicely. And they both executed, and it was just one of those ones that went for 6. Next ball, he's expecting that he's not going for the Yorker again, so he takes the pace off and hits a nice 6. And then he's, of course, going back to the Yorker because that's his strength. So everything just worked out perfectly in that semi-final, in that partnership between Wadey and Stoinis.
Is that, as a team or as a skipper, is that your favourite memory, winning the World Cup?
Oh, absolutely. That's the team success by far outweighs any kind of individual success that I've ever had. To win 2 World Cups they're both the highlights. Apart from them, probably the biggest highlight in my career would be 2019, when we came back from 2-0 down against India in an ODI series. No team had ever done that. We had quite an inexperienced team. So it's just moments like that you remember forever.
All right, you've talked about India. Now, India have got, on a couple of occasions when they've told Australia, better of Australia in Australia. Growing up, I mean, I'll ask you, this is an elaborative question. Growing up with the likes that Australia had, they were a team very aggressive and a team which was bound to win. And then suddenly India comes in and they just change it 180 degrees.
Well, India have got great players. The depth that they've got in their squads, you look through every IPL team. I mean, is there 32 state, Ranji Trophy teams?
Yes, 28 states. Yeah.
28. So there's a lot of good players there. So I think what's shone through over the last couple of years in Indian cricket is if there's an injury, if there's someone's out of form, there's 3, 4, 5 players that can come in and perform well in international cricket. You never see an Indian player walk in and be overawed by a situation or an opposition because they've seen it so many times. So I think that's the depth of Indian cricket now is remarkable.
Aaron, please put this question to rest. You're possibly the best source because you've prepared for both of them. Babar Azam or Virat Kohli? Who is a better batsman?
It's a great question. Virat's obviously done it longer. I think at his best, he's probably slightly more destructive. Once he gets in, Babar's so methodical. Both incredible players. It's so hard to split. Their records are very similar, particularly in one-day cricket, and slightly different roles in T20 cricket, where Virat bats at 3.
Babar opens the
innings, and his partnership with Rizwan has been amazing for a couple of years. But beautiful players to watch. I think what just separates them is how long Virat's done it for. He's been remarkable.
As a captain, who gave you more sleepless nights to prepare a match a day before, maybe a night before?
Well, again, it's hard because against Pakistan, for example, you know that the partnership of Rizwan and Babar is so huge. If you can get early wickets, then maybe it's a little bit easier to control the middle part of the innings. But if you don't get wickets, you're in trouble anyway.
Yep.
When you're preparing for Virat, he can dictate the situation to you, so it can be a little bit more reactive to Virat because he's the way that he plays. And again, they both play very similar. They both knock it around, run hard. When they get an opportunity, they take the bowling on. But probably Virat only because when he's at his very best, he can score 360 as they both can. But I've probably been on the receiving end of more Virat masterclasses than Babar.
Maybe also because it's the body language, the aggression that Virat has when he walks in.
And against Australia, he doesn't back down for 1 second, regardless of what format. It could be a game in the hotel lobby, and he'll still take it seriously.
I'll tell you, just 4 top teams this year's the World Cup, the 50-over format. India are playing the host. What are the 4 teams that you think are going to be the top 4?
To make the semi-finals. India and England, I think, are standouts. Australia, and then it's going to come down to Pakistan if they take their moments. South Africa, they're starting to become a really well-rounded, well-balanced team. Maybe don't quite have the depth of spin bowling in terms of compared to Rashid and Zampa and Chahal and these guys in the 50-over format. but they've got the fast bowling to be able to blow teams away in the middle. So I'll go with South Africa as the fourth one.
India, England, Australia, and South Africa.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hell of a semi-final with the top four.
Well, but then you look teams who could potentially miss out there. New Zealand, they're always making the semi-finals in every competition. Sri Lanka are a dangerous team. Pakistan, on their day, they are so clinical.
Also, it's a subcontinent. So.
Absolutely. And then you've got the middle order. They've got power in the middle order now. They've got Shadab with the spin. So if they missed out, then that's difficult as well. So it's so hard to pick. I think. But of course, Australia will win the tournament.
There's this little story that I heard that Aaron Finch has so much gratitude. He's such a giver to the world that once Aaron Finch was gifted a bat by Glenn Maxwell, and he gave that bat away also, and finally ended up having no bats for a game. Is that the true story?
That's a little bit
Partly true.
Partly true. I wasn't gifted the bat by Glenn Maxwell. We were living together at the time. I took the bat. And then one of my mates asked if he could have a bat. He was running low. He needed one for a club match. So I gave him that bat. So anyway, the story gets better. One day we're sitting at home. We were still living together. Maxie comes in. He said, "Have you seen my bat? It was down in my cupboard downstairs." I said, "Oh yeah, I gave that to my mate." And he's like, "That is my test 100 bat." He goes, "I made my test 100 with that at Ranchi. I need it back." So I think we got it back in the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it a struggle to get it back?
No. As soon as you tell people the story. But yeah, I wasn't gifted and re-gifted. It was just my mate needed a bat and I had none at the time, so I gave him one of Maxie's. So it was an honest mistake.
Honest mistake.
Yeah.
All right, very quickly, I'm going to name some cricketers. Yeah. I want you to give them an alternate profession if they were not cricketers, based on their personality.
Ooh, okay.
You played with a lot of them across the globe.
Okay.
All right. We'll start with Shane Watson.
Oh, school teacher.
School teacher?
Yeah.
Is he that disciplined?
No. On himself, he's very disciplined. Very structured. He likes things how he likes them.
All right. Chris Gayle.
Chris Gayle, wedding planner. He would plan a great party.
All right. Hardik Pandya.
Oh, Hardik Pandya. He would be like a. Well, I'm not sure about DJ. I'm going to say like an investment banker or something like that. He's an intelligent guy. I think that.
What about Hardik Pandya makes you think that he can be an investment banker?
I think that he would be good at it.
Would you give your money to him to invest?
I wouldn't, but somebody else might.
All right, Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli. Whoa. He would be like a mental coach. What are they called?
The wellness coaches?
Yeah. I think it would be something very spiritual and very, very deep.
All right, Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Doing army. He'd be like the colonel, the boss of the army or something.
Also, words on Dhoni. You played. How do you prepare against Dhoni? Is it the mind game? Is it the on-field game, off-field game?
You can't win a mind game against MS Dhoni. It's impossible to try with a mind game. You just prepare because you know that it's like any player in the world. When the best of the best, if they're having a great day out, it's hard to stop them. So you just have to be prepared to commit to your plans throughout the whole innings. It's easier said than done because they put so much pressure on you that almost makes you go away from your plans quicker than what you need to. But you just have to stay as strong as you can for as long as you can.
Have you ever gone to Dhoni and got some tips about being a skipper because you were captaining your side as well?
No, we haven't spent any time together away from outside the ground, to be honest. So, I wish we did.
Some of the tricks that you've picked up passively by observation?
Just the way that he controls the speed of a game is really impressive. How he speaks to his players in terms of telling them what he expects from them, but also encouragement at the same time. It's a very good balance.
Finally, Aaron Finch, an alternate profession for him.
An alternate profession.
What would you be doing now that you've retired? Also, you're of course in a better space mentally and physically. But if it was an alternate career and not a cricketer, professional
I
cricketer,
hate to think because I wasn't very good at school. I didn't take school very seriously. I put a lot of eggs in the cricket basket, and I've been very fortunate that it's worked out for me. But maybe some kind of trade, I wish I could be a builder or something like that, but I'm even no good at that.
but what a good combination. You building, you doing trade, and Hardik Pandya investing your money.
He would not be investing my money, but I think that he's just got that. He wants to be that guy. He wants to be a big dog, like a Wall Street man.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Such
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Hi guys, Aaron Finch here. I'm joining Yuvi to talk through some old cricket stories on Radio City.
Yuvi Cricket Diary. Only on Radio City.